Sorry to lose it there. Some football teams that are making me lose it. We have a potential upset in the making here on college basketball as Western Kentucky, who I believe a week ago played Kentucky pretty tough for a little while before they got mashed, is giving Louisville all they can handle right now, leading 30 to 24 with 4:27 to go in the first half. And we'll see how this game unfolds, whatever the word is. Let's go back to the NBA real quickly. We have the next group of teams that I think will make the playoffs. I mean, obviously it's weird to talk about the NBA and not talk about the Spurs, but again, the Spurs are one of those teams that are old, and we love Timmy, we love Tony Parker, we think Manu is awesome as well, but like I said, there's going to be games this year where they're going to have to play less minutes, and they're going to have to pick their poison and pick their times and spots and games to do certain things. And I don't know, you know, I don't think they've done enough. They've lost a couple good players um, that was supposed to help, bridge the gap. But the Spurs aren't what the Spurs used to be. Portland is the saddest story in the National Basketball Association, in my opinion. Portland has had the most bad luck. I mean, Greg Oden is going to be done for the season, unfortunately. Brandon Roy has been forced to retire, unfortunately, because of knee injuries. Both of these guys are, 26 and 23 years old, respectively. I mean, if they had their full team, Portland would be the top team in the West. Yes, Raymond Felton makes them a fast break team. They have weapons that they can use. But unfortunately, this is going to be a sad year for Portland. I think they still have enough to make the playoffs. But personally, I wish that these players would play. I pray for them. I hope that they will get healthy and give it one more shot not to give up on their dreams. Because without dreams, you're dead. I think the biggest enigma team in the NBA year in and year out has to be the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta has as much talent as anybody in the East. They have the athletes. They have a go-to scorer in Mr. Johnson. I've always said if Atlanta ever had a point guard that could organize this team, who can get these guys the good shots and teach them what is a good shot, this team would be dangerous. Kirk Heinrich got added to the team last year, and his first phrase was, "We need to scrap what we do here and just run and let these guys just get out on the wing and do what they can do." And I'm sure you all saw the ESPN highlight the other night of that alley-oop lob between Joe Johnson and Mr. Smith. I mean, the team has got sick talent. The question is, what do they have between their ears? And I'm not trying to sound like I'm trying to criticize them because I'm not saying that they're stupid players. I'm just trying to say that, to be successful in the National Basketball Association, you have to know what a good shot is, and you have to know what a bad shot is. And you have to go to the guy who makes the good shot. Joe Johnson is the guy the offense should go through. Al Horford is a good player, but he's not Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson is an Olympian. He's a all-star. He's a perennial all-star. They should use him, and he should lead that team to better prosperity than they had in recent years. The last couple teams I think will make the playoffs, all two other teams are from the East. Philadelphia 76ers, again, another team that has, Elton Brand has come back from bad injuries and is back playing good basketball. Mr. Holiday can run a good offense, but the problem with the Sixers is they have too many of the same players. Evan Turner and Andre Iguodala, they play the same position. And you got to figure out ways to, get the ball to one of them, and both of them want the ball. Again, point guard position in the league might be the best it's been in a long time, but it's not for every single team. There's 30 teams in this league, and yeah, probably 14 have good point guards who know how to run a team. Philadelphia needs this dude, Mr. Holiday, UCLA guy, to, show he can get it done. And if he can, Philly could be a sleeper team because Elton Brand healthy, they have an inside-outside punch. You never know. And the Indiana Pacers, I said David West was a coveted piece for a lot of people because David West, in my opinion, would have finalized Boston's run for a title run. He would have been great playing he would be amazing in Orlando. I mean, he would have been able to take some of the load off of, Dwight Howard. I mean, now he's in Indiana. Indiana has a decent team. I like what the players that Indiana has. The only problem with Indiana is the point guard position, again, needs to figure out who to get the ball to, when to get the ball to them. They have a lot of guys who play a lot of the same positions, but when they're on the floor together, they can score. And they just got, I guess they traded Mr. Rush recently up to Golden State and got another big guy inside. They have the size. They have the players to be competitive in a lot of games. Granger is awesome. Um, Obviously Hibbert is still learning how to play the center position. But personally, I think this team is definitely on the way up. And so if you were keeping count, you know, I think in the East, I think Miami, Chicago, the Knicks, the Celtics, I think Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Indiana and Orlando are the 8 teams that are going to come out of the East. I think that Miami, New York, Chicago, and Boston are the premier 4 teams. And I think Atlanta is, just a click behind. And we'll see how that unfolds. I think in the West, Oklahoma City, Dallas, the Lakers, Denver, Memphis, Houston, the Clippers, the Blazers, and the Spurs are, you know, are teams to watch. I think that 8th and final spot is going to be up for grabs. I think Portland and San Antonio are going to fight that out to get to that 8th spot. I think the Clippers will be in firmly into the playoffs this year, folks, if they're healthy. I think the Lakers are play better in the second half of the season. I'm a little surprised. I mean, obviously Andrew Bynum, today I guess they reduced the suspension for Andrew Bynum and Charlie Villanueva because the season's shorter. I just think that this team, will play better as the year progresses. Mike Brown's going to take some time to, get to learn his players. But the Clippers, don't sleep on the Clippers. I think the Final Four teams in the West, I think Oklahoma City will be a Final Four team in the West. I think the Lakers will be a Final Four team in the West. I think Dallas will be a Final Four team in the West. And I'm drinking the Clipper Kool-Aid. So we'll see how it unfolds. And we'll be back to talk some more bad. We'll talk about the rest of the teams in the NBA. And really not much to say else after this message from the Jeffrey Foundation. Cindy Bolanos, mother of Jonathan, aged 24 months, has cerebral palsy and has just heard that her Social Security check has been cut by the state. Jonathan is enrolled at the Jeffrey Foundation's Toddler Program and is still on the waiting list for funding by a state-subsidized program. The Jeffrey Foundation's founder, Alice Morris Winston, is attempting to